So we'll conclude this video with a bunch of smaller predictions about where we think that work is headed. First, we think that greater than 50% of jobs in the next decade will be on a contract basis. We are already at 35%, so we don't have too far to go from here. But imagine that half of all new jobs aren't full-time anymore. That means people need to prepare for this. Second, we think that HR will be more than just administration. Today, they mostly do administrative tasks and aren't well connected to the core competency of the companies they work for. With jobs requiring greater specialization and hires being more frequent, we think that HR will have to transform and become something much more skilled than a mere administrator. We think it will be a key function in top organizations and even a key differentiator in their performance. We see that taking place right now, these transformations taking place right now, but we think this will be a big-time differentiator on into the future. Third, we talk about this a lot in our Getting a Job in 2016 course, but we think that the way we apply to jobs will completely change because the current process is awful. Right now, it's so unnecessarily difficult for employers to find good candidates and for good candidates to find good jobs. It's because the process is terrible. It's too long, it's inefficient, and it's not being handled by the best technology and the best talent. This will change as hiring changes. Fourth, you hear a lot about how robots and automation are set to steal all our jobs, but we think this is way overblown. Jobs have been automated for decades by machines. However, we think automation will dramatically shift how we work and what's needed to succeed. All the trends we talked about will amplify, and there will be much greater emphasis on having top skills, being able to demonstrate qualifications quickly, and having a good technology background. So it won't be job elimination, but changing job descriptions and requirements. Fifth, we believe qualifications and skill acquisition will change dramatically. In fact, we think education and skill development will be one of the biggest industries with so many more resources, content, and emphasis by the corporate world. We think traditional education and training is in trouble as their business model is today, and that better alternatives will emerge in the next few years. Finally, the biggest change for workers will be improved skills and learning to sell them in the job market. This is exactly why we at Reverse Tide have been teaching about how to obtain relevant skills today and how to use them in your career. We are so confident that this is going to be desperately needed by the workforce at large. So there you go. Those are 6 predictions, smaller predictions that we think we'll have. At Reverse Tide, we elaborate on every single one of those, so certainly check back and you can see a bit more detail on that. Now, of course, we're very interested in what you think, so feel free to begin a discussion on this. However, before we conclude the video, we have 4 conclusions that we hope you are developing as you think about this subject. So the first is that you have to take freelancing and qualifications very seriously. This will be an investment well worth making, whether it's time, money, or education. We shared why we think this will be at least half of the new jobs, so it's really valuable to take this material seriously. Second, and we're going to double down on this, we think it's valuable to try freelancing today. If it's more likely than not that your next job will be freelance rather than normal employment, preparing yourself now is a wise thing to do. And who knows, maybe you'll even be one of the 60% that love it and ultimately choose it yourself. Third, sales, productivity, and technology skills are the things we'd focus tremendous attention on. If you are to take online courses, practice new skills, or get jobs, these are some really good choices. They are important to any freelance career and the future of how we work. Fourth and finally, we urge you not to rely on anyone else, and especially governments, to protect you from these inevitable trends. Governments are dysfunctional and slow to respond, so don't expect their protection. Protect yourself with foresight and with preparation. We at Reverse Tide are here to be the ones to help you with our resources, educational material, and perspective. And if not us, spend some time making an investment. We think that it'll serve you really well. Okay, so that is the future of work. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? It's really a fascinating subject to consider. Now, these are our opinions, so take them as such, but definitely worthy of thinking about and applying to your own unique career.